fixing too cold. Let the record show at 6 o'clock, we'll call a meeting to order. Use roll call.
Eddie Gochenhauer, Linda Barnhart,
Present?
Eric Goff,
Here.
McKenna Norton,
Present.
Tim Lewis,
Present.
Daniel Gant, Nick Deal, Derek Smith.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. First item on the agenda is to ask for an approval of the agenda, and that has been sent to you, and
Move to approve.
thank you.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Ms. Norton, to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that Mr. Gant has joined the meeting. The next item is our open governmental process. That's called frequently the Sunshine Law. If you have some questions or comments regarding something that you wish to speak about other than a public hearing that's on the agenda, now's your opportunity to do that. Okay, let the record show that there is no one present to speak. Next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes. Those have also been sent to you, and you've had an opportunity to review them.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gant, to accept the minutes as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we'll begin our public hearings. We have 3 of them this evening. First one is Nestle Junction, Section 2.
This public hearing is for a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Nestle Junction, Section 2, lots 3 through 17. File number is 2015-173. The developer is Stewart Properties, LLC. The engineer is Site Planning, Design, and Survey. It's located in the Falling Waters District, Map 6, Parcel 6.1. The property is on the north side of Grade Road, approximately 350 feet east of the intersection of Kitchens Orchard Road. The project proposes 15 residential lots on approximately 60.4 acres to be served by public water and private well. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On June 21st, 2021, the county engineer, Doug Smith, stated that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. Since the sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Do we have anyone present from Site Planning, Design, and Survey to represent the project?
My name is Dan Llewellyn.
Thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing for Nestle Junction, Section 2. If you have questions or comments regarding this project, now's your opportunity to make those known. I ask that you come forward, state your name, your address, and any questions you might have.
Hi, my name is Heather. My husband's Stephen Brian. We live at 2180 Grade Road, which is approximately like 20 feet away from the entrance of this construction that's trying to start. We have a son that goes to school, and we've had some incidents on safety. People have just fly past the bus, and we're afraid for safety of our child and other children around the neighborhood.
Basically, what we want to know is how they're going to make Great Road safer. It's already a dangerous street, adding more homes on the road. School board already knows it's a danger. Are they going to add a right lane to go into these homes and free up the lane where people aren't passing other people? It's already a congested road. Adding more homes to where that is a danger, not only to our youth, but to the elderly, to everybody.
As well as,
So our main issue is safety. What are they going to do to maintain safety for this road, adding all these extra? That's what I'd like to know. Everybody knows Great Road is already a hazard.
yeah, even the UPS and FedEx People who have delivered, they have to pull into our driveway, and we've told them to go ahead and back into that actual front lawn, so they can actually pull out and be able to see the road, because one of them said to me, got off his truck and said, "They are crazy. This is so dangerous." I told him, I said, just go ahead and back up into our yard, that way you can go out and be able to see.
Also, the sign was properly placed. It was placed this way. The road's going this way, the sign is facing this way, and it was behind weeds. I had to knock the weeds down, because we live right across the street from it. Okay, so not a lot of people had an opportunity to look at this sign properly. Now, if the sign was faced like a highway sign, people could ride by it, take the time to look at it. So whoever placed the sign didn't place it properly.
Okay.
And since we live right across the road from it, we see the sign all day. Okay, so we're the only ones here from Falling Waters on Great
We
Road.
see the pink, we just don't see the
Yeah.
advertisement of what's going
But
on.
whoever's designing the planning and everything else like that, are they taking into consideration the traffic and
Safety.
safety? There's no place to walk for these kids. They walk down the road. There's always crashes. It's just dangerous. Are they going to put a road, a right-hand lane to turn into these homes? We don't have a problem with the building. We just have a problem with safety.
All right, unfortunately, Grade Road is a state-maintained road, and they have the total control of anything that goes on as far as widening or turning lanes or anything. So we can't require that. Now, Mr. Llewellyn may want to answer some of your questions. He may have some plans, but again, this is at the very early stage. So, Mr. Llewellyn, do you have anything you want to add on that?
We've met with the Division of Highways, and we're turn lanes not required, there's only 50 lots turning in there. But what we do know is that this is the passing zone with the proposed new entrance. The passing zone is going to be removed, and I suggest that law enforcement sit there, because people who fly down the road extremely fast. I absolutely agree. I understand where they're coming from. We've met with the Division of Highways, and what they told me is for safety purposes, and because of the entrance, they're going to get rid of the passing lane, so they'll no longer be allowed to pass on that section,
On Grade Road?
on Grade Road.
Okay.
They'll still do it. But you're right, they need to have police
Yeah,
on that road.
It's quite scary, because it's a real straight section of road. And,
People all take a real quick run. We have no sound blocking of the revving of engines and people speeding up past our house.
So
So
since I'm pretty sure everybody agrees about the safety aspect of this, but nobody's going to try to get it done in any way, shape, or form. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about anybody here have,
Well, we don't have control of it.
so what I'm saying, do you know anybody who does that you can call, right?
Well,
whatever?
the highway department is the one that's in control, and he's already met with the highway department. Mr. Smith, do you have anything to add on this?
Yes, but during the preliminary plans, since this is a sketch, there's been preliminary meetings with DOH during preliminary plan submission. We'll see the DOH permit. I will pass these concerns on to Larry off from us. We do not have a say in this. We can only comment back to Larry from which is DOH. We'll comment back to him your concerns and relay that back to him so that during preliminary plan it can be looked at. And I'll look at it further as the plans come in. It's only sketch plan, and typically the details we have right now are not enough to address your concern. During preliminary plan submission, when it comes back, it will.
So even though it's a highway thing, you could put one in if you want to.
on the
No,
private
we
party,
can go back to DOT and give them what we think. But it's ultimately, it's DOT's roadway, it's ultimately DOT's decision. I can certainly, if you give me your email address and phone number, I can certainly get you Larry's contact information tomorrow. You can reach out to him personally.
I think I've already spoken to him before.
Okay?
But what I'm saying is also, is there a way that you can use the property as making it into a radiant?
I don't want to
Instead of-
comment on that right now because I don't remember what the ADTs were and I don't want to misspeak.
And that's what we're saying. You can
Yeah.
put one in, since that's your problem. Right?
He's the county engineer.
Oh, you're kind of, well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was.
No,
Mr. Llewellyn is representing, he's representing you.
no.
Well, even an engineer could, like I said, get pros like you said, okay. Like, that's our main concern is the traffic. Dangerous, right-hand lane would, accommodate it,
Okay.
you know.
We appreciate it. Thank
The
you.
speed trap will certainly help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. We appreciate that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I
15
think,
cops right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak regarding this project?
I'm Tim Nelling. I'm a resident of Nestle Camp on the Potomac, which is off of Grade Road on Espero Lane. And I was here a couple years ago when the initial plan was laid out, where they had a development, a complete development on a plan. And I noticed here that they've mentioned that 15 residential sites now, and I just want to know if this plan had changed, and it's also listed as section 2, and I didn't know if there's multiple other sections that are involved in this development process. And our concern initially was, I think it was 2 years ago we were here, was the water and the sewer and the water runoff as far as water containment and those type of issues when you're developing a large-scale development where the water runoff is going to be contained.
Well, the water runoff will be addressed during the preliminary plan stage.
Okay.
This is just the idea, the basic
Okay.
idea. And this is when we hold our first public hearing. Some of the details that you're asking for will more than likely be on the preliminary plan when it comes in and it's reviewed by our county engineer and our planning staff.
Okay.
But we appreciate your comments.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Llewellyn, do you want to address any of his concerns?
I just want to make a note that section 1 is 2 lots, which is also on the agenda, for preliminary final approval. So it's a total of 17 lots on 65 acres.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyone else wish to speak regarding Nestle Junction Section 2 from the public?
If not, I move public hearing be closed.
Second.
Let the record show that there's no additional comments. I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gant to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Llewellyn or of the staff?
There are none. I make a motion, we accept staff recommendation. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to preliminary plan stage.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gant, second by Mr. Smith to accept the staff recommendation, and that is to advance this sketch plat onto the preliminary plan stage. I don't have a clue when that will happen, but you just need to keep your eyes and ears open for whenever you see it. Is it on the county's website? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. The next item for public hearing is APM residences.
Before I start, I have you sign the credit speaking. Oh, yeah, information. Unless you want us to record it.
The next item on the agenda is a public hearing for a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is APM Residences, file number 2103-094. The developer is Alarmush Properties Management. The engineer is Site Planning, Design, and Survey. It's located in the Opequon District, map 6, parcels 1.6, 1.7, 1.11, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Property is located behind APM Inn and Suites on McMillan Court and adjoining Edward and the Interstate 81 interchange. The site will be accessed by Mossy Lane. The project proposes 295 dwelling units within there's a 4 and a 5 there, Ed. Within 4 5-story apartment buildings. The total acreage is approximately 11.6 acres and will be served by public water and sewer.
Do we have anyone to represent the project? I'm sorry, I didn't let you finish, did I?
I'll read fast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
At the April 19th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was denied a waiver to Section 801, Table 8-1A, Number 7, off-street parking, reducing the number of parking spaces from 2.5 spaces per unit, plus 1 space per employee, plus 10% additional spaces for guests to 2 spaces per dwelling unit. That request was denied. On June 17th, 2021, the county engineer, Doug Smith, stated that a review of this project was completed and found to be in compliance. Since the sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, staff recommends advancement of the sketch to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project? We don't see you very often, and then we see you twice in the same night. How about that? Okay, this is a public hearing for APM residences. If you have questions or comments, please come forward and state your questions that you may have regarding this project. Also, we'd like to have your address.
My name is Reese Powell, it's my wife, Tamara Powell. My address is 48 Mossy Lane, we're right adjacent to the APM residence. And my wife is also the director of the Homeowners Association of Wilford Woods Association.
What's your name, sir, ma'am?
Tanara, that's
Tanara.
Tanara.
Thank you.
Last name Powell.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, our concern is the road that's being built on off of Mossy Road, Mossy Lane. I don't see how they can build a road there because of the way the lanes are coming into Mossy Lane, coming off of McCollum Court. It comes down in the curve, and that curve, when it comes to, there's a whole bunch of trees, woods, and it's hard for anybody to see on that curve as far as traffic coming in and coming out. And then we have a lot of people in the residence of the Homeowners Association that's going to be traveling down that road. There's no dividing line there, and it's just like an accident waiting to be happening. As soon as it increases more people living in behind us, then that's going to be more traffic on that road. So it's going to be a mess. And also my concern is I was looking at the architectural design, and I'm concerned with as far as how far is that road coming over close to my property, which is on 48 Mossy Lane. We have 3 large pine trees there. It's been there since the development has been established, and tear down those greenery pine trees and build a road the way it is. It's going to be so close to my house that somebody could just make a wrong turn. They can wind up right in my garage. So it's just too close, for those.
Okay.
My also concern is that by building that road, the road that will be coming down is a public road, that the public do not clean the snow, which means that who will be responsible to clean the road when he makes a road. The city is not cleaning, or the county is not cleaning the road. They already stop right at the beginning of his hotel, and then they do a turnabout. So when that road, when they come down, there's no cleaning, so it's an accident prone right then and there because of the traffic that will be coming down, because the road is not getting cleaned during the winter months.
Yeah, also I might add too, what my wife was saying is that, a homeowners association has been paying for a snowplow to clear that part of the road, which is not a part of our responsibility. But it is now, since it's coming up for that road to be entered in for the hotel. We wanna know who's gonna be responsible to clean that part of the road, especially during snow time. Because, you know, from where we are with the homeowners association, they're gonna stop right there at Marcy Lane starting for the fall, for the winter. Because of this road now coming about, you know, they said, we're not gonna play, you know, the people in the homeowners association say they don't wanna pay for a road that they're not gonna be, you know, responsible for. So, you know, we wanna know, well, who's gonna be responsible for that road? And then we're gonna have all that snow, and it's a slick, when you coming out of this complex of Wolf's Woods, when you come out, it's like a little curve, it comes around like this, and then you got traffic coming up here. Well, when you got snow out there, there's an accident waiting to happen. Who has the right of way? There's no lines in the middle of the street to tell who stays on the left and who stays on the right. And,
So we have a lot of concerns as
we have a
far
lot of
as
concerns.
the in and out about the road conditions, the keep up,
It's a public place.
the safety, because also there are,
Yeah, the telephone lines.
telephone
that's
lines
right
across,
above those
electric
pine trees.
lines, the fire trucks, they have to come in that way. They could hit the lines as far as coming in. So just want them to take account of how they're planning on building the road, because it does go down to the hotel, it's down, but when it comes out property, the hill comes up, so it's higher. So they planning on digging down, which will be sitting up higher, the way will be down to prevent them from hitting the wires. So we're really concerned about how they're actually gonna plan on building this road
When I
for the
looked at
safety of our
design-
home.
When I looked at the design, Ms. Linda, the design appears that the road's gonna come right in, and I'm looking at the fire trucks come through there. How they gonna get through there? They're gonna be so close to my house, it's gonna like shake everything to pieces. I mean, I just can't see it.
Okay, let me just tell you that this,
This defines the limit of division boundaries.
So this is
Yeah, basically,
right at my property.
it's private subdivision street from there back. I can't understand why the division highways hasn't been cleared in that section of the road.
Yeah, right at my
Certainly their
property.
responsibility.
Right at my property.
yeah, this is again a sketch plan, it's an idea of what the developer is planning, and a lot of your questions and concerns regarding the roads will be addressed at the preliminary plan stage. And I'm not sure who does maintain that entrance off of Edmund Miller Boulevard. Is that the state's responsibility? So they're just coming so far and stopping? Yeah.
It goes just past the proposed entrance in the
Yeah,
Which
okay.
they do not clean in the wintertime.
Well, yeah. They don't clean my road either in the wintertime. Okay, Mr. Llewellyn, do you want to answer any more of their questions?
As far as improvements to the road work, we've been in contact and negotiating discussions with the Division of Highways, and they, part of the traffic impact study, will determine what improvements need to be made to the road. And I suspect with the proposal, there will be some widening and striping of the actual road itself. So
Yeah,
I
that-
think there are going to be some improvements made there.
Yeah, there is a fair amount.
I'm concerned about that because I talked to the gentleman at the highway, and he says that as far as they know, we're not gonna do anything at this time. And I was telling him, I says, well, if we don't have any lines to distinguish who's gonna be on the left lane, who's gonna be on the right lane. He says, well, according to the plans, he has the right to have, we're gonna get a permit. I said, but are you really carefully assessing this situation? I said, because there's a curve coming out of the complex. And I says, there's no way for anybody to get in the left lane or the right lane, and it's gonna wind up with an accident. You can just see it. You see pictures of it, and even on the drawing, it's just too narrow. It's just too narrow. My question is also, why are they building the road there where he has access right off of McMillan Court? There's a big space that he can just drive through, and he can cut through the hill behind the hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, to come all the way across there, when you could just come right in the road you already have. don't see the logic in it.
Yeah, I can't answer that question. Mr. Llewellyn may have some answer.
There's some issues with the entrance to the hotel. It's only a 30-foot easement,
Okay.
so we cannot connect there. For one, and two, it would be really a terrible traffic pattern to drive around the existing hotel to get back to the other site. And ultimately, there are plans, from what I understand from the owner, to, once this goes through, is to go back and redevelop and improve the existing hotel, tear it down, and put something new in that location. At that point, maybe there can be some other provisions made for access, but at this point, we have a 60-foot access, which was basically created when this parcel was created to provide access so that parcel wasn't landlocked.
Okay.
So I'm concerned with this, I'm not gonna take too much of your time. Is behind our property, if they're gonna put a parking lot back there, my concern is also, will there be a distinction as far as fence or wall, or even lights back there? Because the AMP suite does have a reputation of a lot of drug activity. They've been having raids just about once a month. I mean, this is an ongoing, they even arrest people right on my property for drug paraphernalia. And then I'm concerned that if they're gonna put a road right adjacent to my house, then I'm gonna have to worry about people stopping there, picking up drugs, because it is a drug. It's a lot of people that, not everyone is there, I'm gonna say it's on drugs, but it is a great concern. If you check the statistics with the state police, they'll let you know. AMP has got a strong reputation. There's a lot of drug activity going on there. They arrest people right on my property. I mean, they rustle the guy literally right on my property. You know, I'm looking out there like if I had my grandkids out there, something like that. I mean, it's just too uncomfortable.
We certainly understand your concerns.
Would we be able, if they do build that road, would we be able to put a request in for a fence or a wall or
So that there'll
something
be a distinction.
to protect our home?
There'll be a 25-foot buffer along the entire back of the subdivision. There will be, the option's gonna be to build a solid wall with landscaping, so there will be a masonry wall, I do believe, along the entire length of the subdivision. Because we're required by ordinance to provide 25-foot buffer. So in that buffer will be the screening, and part of that will be a masonry wall.
Will that 25 buffer be on the other side of the pine trees, or are you gonna take the pine trees out?
The pine trees are unfortunately have to get taken away, and that's where the entrance is gonna be. But talk to the owner, and he is going to put in a fence along your boundaries with landscaping, so that at least your view will be obstructed from all
So the road's gonna
traffic.
be just 25 feet from the property.
On the backside, yes.
I thought it was at least 200 feet from the property.
Did the law change?
Did the law change on that?
25 feet from my home?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
25?
25 feet from my home
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, a 200-foot buffer.
was,
Yeah, it was a 200 feet. This is-
I don't know what regulation there would be that would require a 200-foot buffer.
25 feet, that's real close.
Okay, again, this is a sketch plat, and there'll be more information provided on the preliminary plan, just like I told these people back here, keep your eyes and ears open. Check the county's website and, make sure you understand what's going on whenever it happens, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions or comments regarding APM residences?
If there's none, I move public hearing be closed.
Second.
Let the record show that there's no additional comments. Motion by Mr. Gant, second by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Llewellyn or of the staff?
No further questions. I make a motion, we accept staff recommendation. Sketch plan meets the requirements of subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement to the sketch plan. Advancement of sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay. Have a motion by Mr. Gant, second by
Second.
Mr. Goff. to accept staff recommendation, and that is to advance the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage. Before we take a vote on this, you mentioned something that I was curious about earlier. You said that if this project went through, that the old APM residences would be,
He's talking about removing it and putting in a larger, a smaller footprint, high-rise, extended stay, like a single occupancy rooms, something to, he recognizes there's an issue there, but he's got to get this one going first before he takes the other one.
okay.
But there has been a conceptual drawing prepared showing that new building.
Because that old buildings have to be in pretty bad shape. They've been there 25, 30, 40 years, maybe longer. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Gant. Did I get a second on that?
Yep.
Second by Mr. Goff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Again, please pay attention for additional updates on the project. The last public hearing is Spring Mills Community Park.
This is a request for a sketch plan advancement for Spring Mills Community Park, file number 2104-124. The developer is Berkeley County Parks and Rec, the engineer is Fox and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 14, parcels 1.15 and 1.23. Property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Hammonds Mill Road and St. Andrews Drive. This project proposes a community park with parking, an open-air pavilion, a bathroom, and gravel walking path. The site is approximately 10 acres and will be served by public water and sewer. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On June 30th, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith stated a review of this project was completed and found to be in compliance. Since the sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, staff recommends advancement of the sketch to the preliminary plan stage.
Do I have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Steve Stianovich with Fox and Associates, representing the applicant.
Thank you. Again, this is a public hearing for a community park located down in the Spring Mills area. If you have questions or comments, please come forward and state your name, your address, and any comments you might have regarding this project.
If there's none, I move public hearing be closed.
Second.
Let the record show that there's no comments from the public. I have a motion from Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Stianovich or of the staff?
There are none, I'll make the motion to accept staff recommendation. The sketch plan meets requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Gant. I'll take a second by Mr. Smith. He's over here on my right ear. It's my better ear. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Derek needs one once in a while.
What's that?
I said Derek needs one once in a while.
That's right.
Let everybody know he's here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes our public hearings for the evening. We now have our staff reports, and this is a preliminary plan approval for North Mountain Substation.
This is a request for preliminary plan approval for North Mountain Substation, file numbers 2104-126. The developer's First Energy, the engineer's Triad Engineering. The project's located in the Hedgesville District, map 15, parcel 4, at the intersection of Ridge Road North and Hammonds Mill Road. This project proposes a 6,000 square foot electrical substation on approximately 2.3 acres which will not be served by utilities. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. The county engineer, Doug Smith, issued a letter of completion on June 7th, 2021, and stated that the preliminary plan meets the requirements to advance to the final plat stage. Since the preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan to the final plat stage.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Eric Ozer with Triad Engineering.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Gosner?
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion that we accept staff recommendations for advancement of the preliminary plan to the final plat stage.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Gant, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to advance the preliminary plan for North Mountain Substation to the final plat stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Now we have preliminary final plat approval, Nestle Junction, Section 1.
Yes, this project is Nestle Junction, Section 1, file number 2105-172. The developer is Stewart Properties LLC. Surveyor, Site Planning, Design, and Survey. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 6, parcel 6.1. The project is on the north side of Grade Road, approximately 315 feet east of the intersection of Kitchens Orchard Road. The project proposes the creation of 1 2-acre parcel and 1 2.5-acre parcel to be served by public water and private septic. The 60.5-acre residue is to be developed under file number 2105-173, Nestle Junction, Section 2, and that's the one that we heard earlier this evening. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. The county engineer, Doug Smith, issued a letter of approval on June 28, 2021, stating a review of this project had been completed and was found to be in compliance. The project is found to be complete and in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Do you have anyone to represent the project? Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Llewellyn or of the staff?
There are no questions. I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation. The project is found to be complete in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gantz, second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation to advance the preliminary final plat. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is Hazlet.
Yes, this is a request for preliminary final plat approval. The project is Hazlet. The developer is Justin Hazlet. The surveyor is Roberts Land Surveyors. It's located in the Mill Creek District, map 11, parcel 8.20. This project is located on the east side of Gunpowder Lane, West Virginia, secondary route 903 over 49, 800 feet north of intersection with Lamplight Road, West Virginia, secondary route 903 over 47. The project proposes 2 single-family residential lots to be served by private well and public sewer. The county engineer, Doug Smith, issued approval on July 12, 2021, stating a review of the above-mentioned project had been complete and was found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. The project is found to be complete, in compliance with the 2009 Berkeley County subdivision regulations, and therefore staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Mike Roberts, person in the project.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts or of the staff?
There are no questions. I make the motion, we accept staff recommendations for approval of the preliminary final plat.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Gant, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to grant the preliminary final plat for Hazlet. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Don't go far. Next item on the agenda is Dominion Springs.
Yes, this is a request for preliminary final plat approval. The project is Dominion Springs lots A and B. The developer is Dominion Springs Farm LLC. The surveyor is Robert Land Surveyors. It's located in Jarrettstown District, map 40, parcel 9.2. This project is located on the east side of West Virginia Route 51/2, Dominion Road, 1.3 miles south of intersection with West Virginia Secondary Route 51/10. The project proposes 2 single-family residential lots to be served by private well and septic. The county engineer, Doug Smith, issued approval on July 14, 2021, stating a review of the above-mentioned project had been completed and was found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. The project is found to be complete in compliance with the 2009 Berkeley County subdivision regulations, and therefore staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts, representing the project. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts or of the staff?
I move approval of the preliminary final plat.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Norton, second by Mr. Smith to accept staff recommendation, and that is to approve the preliminary final plat for Dominion Springs. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, did you say no?
No, I said aye.
Oh. Motion passed.
Thank you, Mike.
Kind of sounded like one of my goats going back. Yeah. Okay, now we're into the final plat determination for Cold Springs Run.
Request for final plat determination. The project is Cold Spring Run Phase 4. The file number is 2103-112. The developer is Cold Spring Run LLC. The engineer is D.A. Stansberry Engineering. It is located in the Arden District, map 10, parcels 57, 57.2, and 57.3. This project is located on Kelly Island Road, West Virginia Route 9/13, approximately 2,000 feet north of Penny's Ford Road, West Virginia Route 19. This phase is proposing 26 residential lots on approximately 10 acres to be served by public water and sewer. On January 19, 2021, the Planning Commission granted the developer a waiver to Article 5, Table 5-3A of the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance 2009, requiring duplex lots to be a minimum of 85 feet wide and a minimum of 9,000 square feet. On June 28, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance 2009. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at the August 16, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Dirk Stansberry, representing the project.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Stansberry or of the staff?
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion, we accept staff recommendation. Final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat determination advertising the public hearing for consideration of final plat approval on August 16, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Gantz, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation, and that is to conduct a public hearing for final plat approval on August 16, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
I'm going to be recusing myself from these next 2 projects.
Okay. Let the record show that Mr. Smith is recusing for conflict of interest. It,
So the next project is a request for final plat determination. The project is the Lakes at Martinsburg, Section 2, lots 115 through 174. The file number is 2104-024 tied to 120-06. The developer is Banbury Holdings LLC. The engineer is Gordon. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 2, parcel 35, and map 2B, parcel 22. The parcel is located along Weaver Lane, approximately a half mile west of its intersection with US Route 11, north of Martinsburg. The developer is proposing 60 townhome lots on approximately 7.03 acres to be served by public water and sewer. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On June 23rd, 2021, the county engineer issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at the August 16th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Ryan Perks from Gordon.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Perks or of the staff?
There are none, I'll make staff I'll accept staff recommendation. Final plat meets the requirements of subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat determination, advertising, public hearing for consideration of final plat approval on August 16th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gantz, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation, and that is to conduct a public hearing on August 16th to consider the final plat approval for Lakes of Martinsburg, Section 2. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item is Lakes of Martinsburg, Section 1, Phase 6.
Yes, this is a request for a replat approval, and that is Lakes at Martinsburg, Section 1, Phase 6, file number 2101-024. The developer is Banbury Holdings LLC. The engineer is Gordon. The property is located in the Falling Waters District, map 2, parcel 35. The property is located 0.6 miles west of intersection of Weaver Lane and Interstate 81. The replat, this is a replat of a portion of the Lakes at Martinsburg, Section 1, Phase 6. This replat substantially conforms to the administrative plan change for the Lakes at Martinsburg approved on August 19, 2019. On July 9, 2021, the county engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The replat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends approval of the replat.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Ryan Perks with Gordon.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Perks or of the staff?
I move approval of the replat.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Norton, second by Mr. Lewis to approve the replat for the Lakes of Martinsburg, Section 1, Phase 6. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Got it. Council, staff, you're on. No?
Actually, I do have one thing.
Okay.
I don't have the exact number, but I believe we have at least 7 public hearings for the meeting in August, the first meeting in August.
Are they all mean, nasty people?
It's a variety of sketches, plan changes, waivers, the works.
Sorry for your luck, Tim.
So we look forward to seeing everyone who's
I'll make sure-
unless they're
I'll make sure I'm
unless
on
they're far,
vacation.
far away.
No, I'll be here.
Let me just ask, I haven't been able to get to the Monday subdivision rewrites. Do you want to give us an update on that? You started going into lot designs and that was like over my head, so.
Well, we, meaning Heather and I, have finished a first draft of the Article 12. Doug is making some comments right now. I'm just cleaning up the format to send it out, hopefully by the end of this month or right at the beginning of August for your guys' review and to get the process started further down the road.
Very good.
Public input and all that.
Because we still have Appendix A to address as well.
Appendix A.
That's basically my design manual for the county for roads, streets, that sort of thing. Everything engineering wise except stormwater management, because that's covered under the 2016 stormwater management ordinance. Now, MS4 is working with me as well and Jeff. There are some issues where some things conflict back and forth between all three sections, the ordinance itself, for subdivision, the Appendix A, the design manual, and the stormwater ordinance, so we're trying to work those out as well.
Imagine that.
Well, some of it is, quite frankly, a lot of it's just definitions, it's interpretations that, one was better than, so we've really tried to endeavor to try to keep.
And that was with the review. So
We're literally trying to keep one thing in one place, only said once at one time. Does that make sense?
Keep it
It's
simple.
kind of like those notes on a drawing. Say it once, say it right.
Yeah.
Keep it simple and sweet.
Well, everybody here knows that continuity and ease of interpretation is key to getting a good, strong ordinance. And I commend the three of you for working on it. I think you did a really good job from the things that I saw, and to Monique, I know you were a part of it. Just to keep up the good work, charge forward.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, trying to take out ambiguity for people that people can argue about.
Yeah.
One of the other things that's kind of hit us, especially in Appendix A, that was written quite some time ago. There's pieces of it that were probably written in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I think we can stand
Some of the other
Draft
things,
for articles like
we're
1,
trying
2,
to bring
3,
it up
they
to
already
date
voted
without,
on.
there were some things in there we're not even sure where they came up with the numbers. They make sense, but they don't. When I go back and try to calculate, I can't even get close.
Well, that's because we had engineers, we had staff, we had everybody trying to work together, and everybody
So
put their
we've-
input in, and it just got
You'll
way out of
you'll
hand.
see it, and I'll probably have to sit down with y'all or come up before you all and just walk you through a couple of the papers and do, but there was a lot of them where we had to make decisions. Because if I would have instituted a design speed for a certain roadway, we would have had the county on fire.
Yeah.
So I've had to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul sort of thing. Okay, I don't really like it that it's this speed, but I'll take it. And we've kind of had to look at it like that. And I think it works. It's just, it wasn't, it's not perfect, but it works.
Right.
Well, I think you might find too that some of the language that's been in these regulations for a number of years was written by a planning commission member who really didn't have the knowledge to write an ordinance that could be easily written. And I don't think there's anybody here.
Right, and I think that's, in parts of it, we've set it up for later on. One of the issues that we see from time to time, especially hearing people calling from the subdivisions, is signage, pavement markings, the like. And, our ordinance says some things, but it doesn't say some things. And some people at times try to push those holes. So what we've done in there, really what I've done is I've said basically, here's the design methodology. In other words, it's the ordinance of controls, then it goes to West Virginia DOH, and if DOH doesn't control that aspect, then it goes to ASHTO. And it's simple. Here's the method, here's how we're gonna walk it down. And, that way it leaves council with some horsepower, so to speak, to say, no, you will do that. And it leaves us with a way to say, here's the stage of ordinances now. If we don't talk about it, then it goes to state. If the state don't talk about it, then it goes to ASHTO, which is federal. And that falls in line with most everybody around us, and it's reasonable.
I'm so tired of hearing about this public hearing time. Does it go this way or does it go this way? I mean,
Not stated in our ordinance.
well, we need to come with a standard, cause I am so sick and tired of these people coming here saying, it's not posted right. I mean,
At Walmart, we use.
The size is in there. The size is shown.
yeah, they seen it, but it wasn't posted right.
We lost the zoning thing and had to go back and rezone it because we didn't post
Yes.
all
Oh,
four
they're-
sides.
Yes.
Yeah, so you do fit, put it
Yeah.
out.
And it did say.
And
in
they
the
ride
ordinance.
out.
We were like,
What's that?
you've
They
got
ride
to
out
write it.
every.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
we literally had to go back out there and redo it.
When somebody specifically.
Well, I do think that from time to time, the signs are posted in a rather
Conspicuous way.
unconspicuous way.
Well, yeah.
But, it's up to the engineer to post it. And do we check it to see if it's been posted so that you can see it from 5 lots away?
We checked that the sign is there, but
Yeah.
we're not checking orientation and.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things
Hey,
I
that's
like.
one of my higher budget items is I pay for those, I think,
Jefferson.
signs. It used to be posted board one side only, now it's two sides.
Two-sided.
I think. So however they orient it, it should be visible at a minimum on 2 sides.
Right.
And Sarah fills them out, so the only thing they have to do is put them there.
Yeah.
And they last through the rain and they're.
Yeah, there's still a couple down on Jacobs Road that's been there for about 3 months. Okay,
I move to adjourn.
motion by Mr. Goff
Second.
at 6:58. Second by Mr. Gann. All those in favor? Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Yeah, but I-
Yeah, they see